Sad news. Please join me in remembering yet another great icon of the entertainment community. The Pillsbury Doughboy died yesterday of a yeast infection and traumatic complications from repeated pokes to the belly. He was 71.
Poor guy.
Doughboy is believed to be survived by his wife, Plato, 3 children, John Doe, Jane Doe, and Mr. Dill Doe. Plus, they had one in the oven.
Oh.
Service will be held at 3:50 for about 20 minutes.
I'd like to propose a toast.
Toast?
To Mr. Pillsbury Doughboy.
Mr. Doughboy. May he rest.
May he rest in peace.
He was delicious, though. That's
delicious.
the important takeaway.
Oh, tasty.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Outer Belt Podcast. I am Patrick, and you all know my wonderful co-host, Mr. Chile.
Hello.
And, of course, we have our producer in the house, Jer Bear.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, man. How has your week been? It started off with a bang. It's been busy. It's been wet. It's been amazing. It's been rainy. It's been wet. How's it going?
You know, it's going great. I worked on that intro all day long today.
It was solid.
Because you were like, you guys keep asking what's up, and they can't hear you or they can't respond, and on and on and on.
Well, I care about the people.
I know you do, and I care about them too, but I really wanted to please you with my intro today.
Well, it was very good. I liked it. It was, maybe polish it a little.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
It felt raw.
I didn't have a mirror to look at while I did it, so I had to I was just doing the hello all day.
I'm not sure that would help.
Probably break
What
the
was
mirror.
it? Do it again.
Hello!
Okay. Slap the camera. That was freaking awesome. You're just all day,
All day.
You're you grab a load bar and you're like,
hello! Yeah, I had to say hello to the load bars, the straps, everything.
Well, that sounds fun.
Mel's like, what are you doing?
And you're like, hello!
Exactly.
Can't you tell?
Can't you tell what I'm doing? Anyway, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm doing fabulous. It's, like you said, been busy, wet, just all of that. The problem with the wet here is I put my raincoat on and I feel like I'm wearing one of those sauna suits. Like I just sweat inside it. And I lost 10 pounds in the last 2 days just from sweating it off.
I don't think it's a bad thing, though, is it?
It's not a bad thing, no.
I mean,
no.
You could be paying good money for that.
I could be.
Or
I could be working.
And making money.
Getting paid.
You look at the spread on that.
Getting paid money for
and you
that.
think about the spread. The spread's insane.
I'm certainly in the positive.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Buttermilk threw me under the bus this weekend, too, with my weight.
Well, what I didn't like about that was the fact that it's not metaphor. People hear that and they think metaphorically.
Right.
But you were actually standing on the side of the road.
I was.
A Columbus City bus came by.
And she
threw you over under the bus.
Under the bus.
And thankfully the bus cleared you, but just barely.
Just barely.
And that was the point she was trying to make, right?
She was. She's like, if you get any heavier, that bus won't clear you.
And we don't have enough life insurance.
We don't, right. We need to upgrade that, by the way, life insurance. Yeah. For the next time you throw me under the bus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least if it's a city bus, I mean, the city's got some cash, right?
The city got some cash.
Probably.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Exactly. How are you today, Patrick? We never ask you how you're doing.
I've been waiting this whole time. We're on episode...
Hey, Jerry, how are you doing? Did you have a good weekend?
It was good, thank you.
I know Don was on call all weekend, but she had a good time.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it.
So how's it go, Patrick?
It goes like this. I can't think of anything. I was going to lay some sick beat, and I would be like, holy cow, Patrick's just laying it down. And I'm like...
You need me to beatbox for you?
No.
Okay,
so...
It's like, because I can't. No. Jerry, can you insert some beatboxing for us?
We'll see.
It's going to be a meme of 2 beats with boxing gloves on them. Anyways, that's what we should do. We should just start throwing things out throughout the podcast and see if Jerry can get artistically creative with it.
We should. That's a good idea.
I'm telling you. We'll see how that goes.
It won't fly so well on the podcast, but it'll be great in the video.
Well, We could do sounds.
Speaking of podcasts,
We could do sounds like right now.
We could.
Do you hear the sound of the ambulance passing by?
Yep, I do.
Wow, that was really cool.
That was
Awesome, Jerry.
Really cool. Perfect timing on your part.
Jerry's looking at me like I'm going to kill you. He's like, that's not the art I want to do. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Those cicadas are awfully loud in the background.
Oh, I can barely hear you
I mean,
talk.
the mics are picking them up.
Vincent!
Patrick, can you hear me?
I don't hear you.
Cicadas. Oh, my goodness.
It's John Cicada. Oh, that's it. Oh, no, we can't do that because we
No.
can't do
Copyright violation.
copyright music.
Yeah,
Well.
can't do it. Can't do it.
That's what happens when you're home too soon or too late. That's one of his songs. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. I had a great weekend. I've had a really good week so far. It's been busy. My weekend kind of ended a little bit early. Sunday, I had to drive out to Indiana, drop something off Monday morning, and then come right back to Columbus, jump in the yard. Actually, I had to go to the office first, do about an hour of office work, then get down to the yard, jump in a truck, drive it out to a place you hear frequently quoted on here is
Yes.
Bolt Custom Trucks. It actually wasn't a Bolt sleeper, but they were the closest shop to work on it, so I brought it out there to them. They were able to take care of everything actually way quicker than I thought they were going to, and I was able to get back here not too terribly late. I know it was questionable whether or not we were going to be able to do this podcast this week, and
It was.
here we are.
Here we are.
So, not so bad overall. Rough night sleeping at the hotel last night. Wasn't crazy about that, but you make do.
You do. You do. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. You know,
You really
hotels
do.
aren't always the best.
No. And this is one I go to all the time. I think it's starting to slip, starting to show some age. I noticed that some of the people, because I've been going there for years, probably 5, 6, 7 years now. Stayed in pretty much every room in the hotel at this point. And a lot of the people I know, the management, that sort of thing, they're all gone. Nobody's there that I know anymore. Obviously, none of the front desk staff is there that I know anymore. So it's been frustrating. I've seen the restaurant open and close and open and close, and now it's a bar, and now it's a restaurant, and it's closed again. So they filled in the hot tub.
Really?
Yep. So it's just been it's been a lot of change over the past few years, and I don't know. It's just starting to slip. Starting to watch things kind of get worse and worse. I will say this though: they changed out their toiletries and their soap and shampoo they have now. I like a lot better. So I guess it's not all bad,
Yeah,
right?
Silver lining.
But it's not a very truck friendly hotel, so it's not one I would recommend most people stay at because it's kind of a pain with parking.
Right.
I have no idea.
You had
Completely
your
lost my
busy
point.
weekend.
Oh, busy weekend. Yeah.
I mean, you came home. You took that truck up. They finished it early. You got back and kept working.
Yeah, went straight to FIDA Freightliner, dropped it off. Nothing major, a little belt squeal. So they'll just rip the belt off. I think it's a pulley, actually. I don't think it's the belt.
They'll probably put some soap on it or something. to send it right
Exactly.
back out.
Yep. And
But the nice thing about when FIDA does something like that is they'll put on the work order, put a bar of soap on the belt, squealing went away, and they'll charge you $300 an hour for labor for that.
that's right.
But
Well, they don't listen to this. There's been
that's not true. It's a joke. It's not true.
It's kind of
They
true.
don't put it on the work order.
They're good people, but we definitely have seen the new building tax on the
definitely.
bills. I mean,
Definitely.
it's over $400 now to get a speed limiter changed at FIDA, which is obscene.
My goodness.
But they're still a great shop. We use them all the time. I buy my trucks from them mostly. Don't want to destroy that relationship, but whoo-wee, the new building tax is real. When you go to FIDA and you stay in their nice new lounge and you're like, oh, so much better than the last one,
Right.
you're welcome.
You're paying for it.
So,
Someone's paying for it.
well, all those big TVs and those nice
Yeah.
couches and everything,
Pool tables.
someone's got to pay for it. They have pool tables.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to pool table. I'm kidding.
I recognize that you didn't, but
I wanted foosball.
that may have been the time Eric was reading your email and said, yeah, just go ahead.
He does do that a lot. He'll just agree to something
Yeah,
and not
just
even
agree.
look.
Yep.
Anybody that's driving for us is like, bull crap.
If I have anything questionable, I send it to Eric. Get his approval first.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to Eric and say, hey, Patrick said this was okay. He just wanted a quote.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, oh, well, Patrick says it's okay. You're done.
Yeah.
Zoop, right back to you.
Yep. Well, I thought I had us a building finally. I'm all excited. I called you about it, talked to you about it,
Yeah.
and they already had a signed agreement in place. And I was like, well, throws that out the window.
Yeah.
So
That kills us every time.
it's so property
Every
here.
stinking time.
Property here is insane, and as soon as you find something, it's gone. It's like
See ya.
people are just sitting there at their computer all day long, staring at the property available,
Right.
and as soon as a new bloop gets popped up there, they're on the phone. I'll sign the sales order, sight unseen. I don't care. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
They don't.
It's insane
That's kind of like what your dad did too, wasn't it?
with the house.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't have a choice. And I don't think, I know overall, as far as the countrywide is concerned, that housing market bubble has kind of slowed quite a bit.
Sure.
Here in Columbus,
No.
I haven't even noticed it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's one of the few places where the housing market's still going at a rapid fire pace, but had a great weekend. Saturday, we ended up hanging out. We were going to go to a festival in Columbus, but it got rained out, sadly. And so instead we had brunch. Went to
Disappointed.
I was
Again.
just about to say the name of the restaurant. I'm glad I
Again,
didn't.
Disappointed.
It was the service was not good.
It wasn't.
The food was I'm going to say hit or miss.
It was.
I think hit or miss sounds too mean.
Sure.
I don't think it was hit or miss in the leaning to the bad side. I think it was
No.
hit or miss leaning to the good side.
I think it was.
There were things like fried green tomatoes. Remember the fried green tomatoes?
Yes.
So you eat fried green tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
You're from the South. Okay. So it's fried green tomatoes on top of a bed of grits on top of a what did we say it was it was like a
It's like a
roasted
roasted pepper
roasted
sauce.
red pepper
Yeah, like-
marinara-y kind
Kinda,
of sauce. And then the tomatoes were on top, and then they had basil all over the top of it.
Did they have basil on top of it?
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
It was 4 parts basil to 1 part tomato.
It was.
It
Lots
was.
of basil.
I don't know what they were thinking. It was so much basil. If you scraped all the basil off, and it got in the grits and it got in the red sauce, if you were able to separate all that stuff out and put just a touch of salt on it,
Yeah.
oh,
Just a touch of salt. They were
stinking
good.
amazing.
They were really good.
really, really good.
Yeah.
But if you ate it the way it was presented, no,
Nothing.
it was
You
not
had
good.
a mouthful of basil. Felt like you were chewing on a basil leaf.
Yeah.
Just a plant. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we so that was kind of like hit or miss, but good. Once we fixed the mistake they did, really tasty. The pimento and cheese dip,
Oh, that was good.
that was really
That was
good.
really good.
And it was regular tortilla corn chips, but they put like seasoning on it.
They did.
And it actually made it really work nice. It was very, very good. I would go back for that. The cocktails were okay. Nothing to write home about.
Nothing at home. No, nothing special.
Yeah, I ended up going mimosas because it's brunch. Normally wouldn't. I'm not a big mimosa person, but just it was the only thing on the menu that kind of appealed to me.
Yeah, wasn't much else appealing.
Yeah, and it was good. But I mean, how hard is it to mix a little champagne and orange juice?
Right,
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like that's not really
Exactly.
a difficult thing to do. So, and then we had now this is where they shone. We had eggs Benedict for the Asterix. And the Asterix is, and we ended up getting they had 4 different styles. We
Right.
got all 4 different styles and we mixed and mingled. Eric got avocado.
Yeah, avocado toast.
So
Well, avocado bennies.
avocado bennies, but they were avocado with a poached egg on top, as you do, and then hollandaise sauce. And the English muffin was cat head biscuits.
And
Oh,
they
wow.
were really good
And
biscuits.
they were really good
Good
biscuits. They were, and it was the same for all the bennies. They were
Yeah.
all on those biscuits, and I don't know why you would go there for anything else.
No.
Because those
Those
biscuits,
biscuits
were
are really good.
so good. I mean,
Oh.
in South Louisiana, we had a place called Frank's. He made the best cat head biscuits. These might have been better. They were phenomenal. And
I didn't have any eggs benny. I had a different dish. So we'll talk about after you finish the benny. But I ended up eating like half of one of Melissa's biscuits. The half of one part of the biscuit.
Yes.
Right. So a
quarter.
quarter of a biscuit with some honey on it. I could have had that all day.
oh yeah,
All day. It was really good.
and their shtick is Tupelo honey. So when you get the honey, it is Tupelo
Right.
honey. which is a good honey. If you don't, it's something I encourage people to try because it does taste different than your normal like honey you buy at the
regular
store.
Clover.
Yeah,
honey
exactly.
Or wildflower. Yeah, it does taste different.
So it is a little different. So some people like, some people don't. I think it's great. But I got the braised short rib.
Yes.
No. Well, I'm sorry, not short rib. It was roast beef.
The roast beef. That's right.
They called it
Yeah.
debris. It was roast beef on mine. Again, poached egg with the hollandaise sauce on top of that cat head biscuit. And then buttermilk got it with
Buttermilk
braised
got the pork.
Yeah, I think it was braised pork, right?
The pork butt. Yeah.
And then seasoned really, really well. The pork was a little dry.
It was.
A little dry. I mean, a little.
A little.
Like
Like
picky, let me find something wrong with this dish.
Exactly.
All right?
Yep.
If you didn't think about it and you had enough hollandaise sauce on there, you didn't even notice. It wasn't like, because we've had dry pork where it's like, ooh, how am I going to get through this?
Sure.
It was not the case. Every bit of pork was eaten.
Yep.
It was very tasty. It just was a hair dry. And then the other person with us got
the fried chicken.
The fried chicken, which was really good. Now, this place is not known for anything we got. It's actually known for its chicken and waffles. And they have 8 or 10 different styles of chicken and waffles.
And none of us got chicken and waffles.
Not a single one of us did.
No.
And none of us regretted that decision.
Not at all.
Which if they did biscuits that good, I want to go see how good their chicken and waffles are. They had a macaroni chicken and waffles.
Cheese chicken and waffle. Yeah. Where the waffle was macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
Waffle.
Yeah.
I mean, as disappointed as you were in the service to start,
yes,
it got better. And the food was
got better.
Good. It did. I had the shrimp and grits.
Yes.
When I eat grits, I salt them and butter the heck out of them. First thing I tasted was the grits and plenty of butter, plenty of salt. The shrimp were cooked just right.
Yep.
It was a tasty dish.
Yeah,
really good. So I was impressed by the food.
Yeah. So one person got a chocolate cake, which I think was just way too much chocolate.
Yep. They did finish it later on that night, though.
Okay, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had I get a banana pudding. Now I like a real banana pudding. I don't get it very often because it's hard to find. And when I say real, I mean I do not want it if it had Jell-O written on it at some point. I want real deal, made in a double broiler, took hours to make, preferably with meringue on top, banana pudding. This was half of that. So I got the double broiler, good banana pudding, way too many Nilla wafers, which I know why they did that. It's cost cutting.
It is.
It's because it's cheaper.
Right.
So way too many Nilla wafers, but the bananas were the perfect ripeness it needed to be. The pudding itself was divine. It was really, really good. But half of it was whipped cream. And it did taste like homemade whipped cream. It didn't taste like it came out of a can.
Sure.
But still, it's like, I don't want half my dessert to be whipped cream.
Right.
Like,
no,
unless you're making me a banana split or a sundae, sure.
Sure. But on your banana pudding.
Yeah, not when I'm paying $13 for whatever it was.
No, really.
Like, I want mostly banana pudding.
Like if you're going through all the trouble to make the pudding and all that, you might as well just do the meringue.
Right.
Or if you're not doing the meringue and you want to do the whipped cream, and maybe it is your made from scratch homemade whipped cream, just a little bit. Literally half the dish was whipped cream.
Yeah. Just a little dollop on there.
Yeah.
To enhance, but not to overpower.
Yes, it would have looked great.
I had the bourbon pecan pie.
And?
I didn't taste any bourbon.
How was the pecan?
Pecans were nice.
How was the pie? Would you get it again?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't get it again. It was just the standard pecan pie gel filling that had not much flavor other than
sugar,
corn syrup, current. You know, my grandmother used to make a pecan pie with dark K-Row corn syrup.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what it was about her. It was probably because she made it. I loved it, but I don't expect that one to a restaurant. I want something a little different.
Yeah, and I mean, I hesitate getting pecan pies up here. I mean, not to belittle Ohio or Columbus. We're a foodie city. We've got great food.
Sure.
So I'm not at all making a comment on come here for as a foodie destination. What I am saying is we're not very good at pecan pie.
Well, I think the lesson that we learned here, or I learned with the pecan pie, was I was getting pecan pie in Columbus, Ohio. Similar lesson we had a couple weeks ago where we had Cajun food and Creole food in Cleveland, right? Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing where for what it was tasty, it was good. I've had much better, and I wouldn't get it again.
Yeah.
I would try banana pudding, and I'd ask him for a little less whipped cream on it now that I know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, overall, I think we left there having a 6.5 out of 10 star experience.
I agree. And
I think it could be improved. I think
so too.
I'll try it again.
I think the next time we go, it'll be better.
Oh, yeah.
I think the few little things that we had issues with were that particular staff on that particular day at that particular time. We did get there after the lunch rush. They were a little tired. Someone didn't key in something on the computer they were supposed to. There were a few mistakes that happened that shouldn't have happened, but they did. That I think if they didn't have those mistakes, it could have been an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Oh, sure.
I mean, like,
certainly.
Again, the couple of the appetizers weren't that great, but the other stuff was really good. So, I definitely want to give them another go just for those cat head biscuits. And they actually have a biscuit appetizer, 2 biscuits and gravy. And I thought, who wants 2 little biscuits? Exactly. But now that I've seen what they are, that's, you know what that's called where I come from? Dinner. I mean, 2 of those biscuits would be plenty appetizer for 8 people.
Sure.
It was really good. But so I'll tell you the name of the restaurant when we leave here. That way you can give it a shot when you get a chance. But it's go in with expectations low of service and high of food, and you'll be fine.
I'm curious to go try chicken and waffles there.
I am too.
I really am.
I mean, I've never had the chicken and waffles you have, but
Roscoe sets the bar high. Roscoe's chicken and waffles, it sets the bar really high.
Is it nostalgia or is it no? They're just really good.
They're just really good. I mean, when I lived in L.A., I would go to Roscoe's for chicken and waffles just because I want to go to Roscoe's chicken and waffles. It wasn't like, oh, let's take somebody that's not from out of town here.
Yeah.
No. It's let's go to Roscoe's and have chicken and waffles.
So when I was growing up as a kid, we'd go to Atlanta. We had friends that lived outside of Stone Mountain, so we'd go there, go to the park, go to things around Atlanta, go to World of Coca-Cola back when it was in the old building, 5 Points, all that stuff. And underground Atlanta. And they had a varsity, which is what they're kind of known for. And you go there and they're rude to you, and you got to get your food a certain way and whatever. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll play the game once because the food's not that good.
It's not.
It's okay diner food. It's not bad, but it's just okay diner food.
So I went to a football game at Georgia Tech once in Atlanta. And there's a varsity right next to the stadium.
Yes.
I think that when the varsity food is really good is after you've been in a bar across the way for a while.
I get that.
And you've tied one on and you don't taste anything at that point. It's just putting food in your stomach and you're happy.
It's just bread, grease.
Right. Exactly.
Carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a place like that in Baton Rouge. It's not a chain. Well, they're kind of a chain. They're a small chain. But it's not a chain. It's just one location, and it's the same thing. At 4:00 in the morning, it's the best food you've ever had in your life. At 1 p.m. on a Tuesday, it's
not
just
so much.
It's all right. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I would still go if I was in the area working.
Sure.
I'd still go, but it's not life-changing food.
Knowing what you're getting, though. Right?
Yes, having a realistic. I love Waffle House. Y'all know that. I'm a huge Waffle House fan, but what is Waffle House really? I mean, it's not amazing food. It's just regular food done kind of good in a nice environment.
And it's fast.
And it's generally friendly.
Yeah, generally.
Generally.
It's a show, I'll tell you what.
It is a production.
Oh, my goodness. It's a show.
It's some... Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you go to Waffle House, right? I have had some great memories in Waffle House. I'm glad to actually made one with you at one not too long ago.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
The funny thing, the show was funny. The show that they put on for you, 4 of the servers put on was amazing. The funny part, though, was that one of the servers and the cook didn't get the script that morning, so they were like clueless as to what was going on.
Yeah, they're
just like
the cook's just over there cooking, like kind of looking around,
exactly.
and the other servers like,
yeah,
here's your ticket.
Exactly.
What can I get you to eat?
Yeah, and the other ones. I mean, I think Patrick's favorite line of the whole meal was, "I'll let you deliver it."
I think it was, "Girl, it smells like a baby's diaper back here," which is what you want to hear while you're eating
exactly
lunch.
It's truly what you want to hear while you're eating lunch. Yeah. Oh, amazing.
It was so funny. The food was good. I mean,
food was good.
The food was really good. It was quite
we
tasty.
didn't smell the baby's diaper from where we were.
No, that was in the back.
Yeah, it was in the back.
Where they store the food.
Right. But it's stored frozen, though, so
yeah,
it doesn't pick up that smell.
Meanwhile, a little behind the curtains information, Vince and I are going down the ice rabbit hole, and we're trying to get clear ice, pure ice as best we can, no
Right.
bubbles, no nothing in it. He's doing much better than I am. But I've been reading on it, and they're like, you should have your own ice freezer, a freezer dedicated to just ice. That way it doesn't pick up any additional smells and all the other stuff. So it's funny, you're like, it's frozen, so it doesn't pick up smells. And I'm like, well, it's kind of contrary to what I've been reading.
As it's freezing, it's going to pick up smells.
Yeah.
Once it's frozen.
Does it though?
You've
never had a TV dinner where you're like, this tastes like broccoli, but there's no broccoli in here.
Well, that's different. I think that's different too, because that broccoli smell, that taste comes from the TV dinner factory where they're making other TV dinners with broccoli in it. I don't know. We've just never had that problem with our freezer.
Okay.
I'm going to lose my space. I have a batch of ice in right now.
Okay.
Coming out amazing, by the way. This one does have that one bigger cube than the other one.
Yes.
But I'm going to lose my space tomorrow once Buttermilk goes shopping and I lose my freezer space. But I'll have 3 bags of ice tomorrow when we're done, which will last me a while.
I have one whole bag of ice, but it's all cloudy.
It is all cloudy.
I'm trying to figure that out.
That's weird.
That's very strange.
You know what we should try and do? I know we're squirreling here.
Boiling?
No, not even boiling. Just maybe I'll bring you a gallon of water from my house and we'll try that and see if it happens.
That would be funny if we found it's a freezer.
Then we'll know if it's your freezer. Fancy
I never
freezer.
thought about that.
We'll try it and see.
Huh.
We'll try it and see.
All that to say,
maybe
as long as the food's good.
Right.
So chicken and waffles at Roscoe's, if it's good,
it's good food.
Then it'd be worth going. I would like to do it. I just think of some of those places where it's like, it's all nostalgia. But I tell you right now, like you go to New Orleans, can't anymore. And you were like, okay, well, K. Paul's, they're known for inventing blackened fish.
Right.
They're the ones that came up with it. It never existed before them. You're like, can it really be all that good? I mean, hasn't every other chef come out and done a better job of it? Nope. It really is that good.
They haven't.
Sadly, K. Paul's was taken out with COVID. So that's a New Orleans staple that's just gone. But now let's find the second best blackened fish.
Maybe make it yourself.
It's so much effort.
It's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of. You got to have skills. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have cast iron.
We have cast iron.
I know, but
okay. Well, you don't want to try and reduce it. I understand that.
You do have those restaurants though that are just keen on specific dishes.
Oh, sure.
But chicken and waffles. I went to Gladys Knight's restaurant in Atlanta.
With the Pips?
The best chicken and waffles I have ever had in my entire life.
Is this Gladys Knight and the Pips?
Gladys Knight Gladys Knight and the Pips?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing either. I know you can get chicken and waffles all over the country. I mean, there's places in Harlem that boast the original chicken and waffles. I don't know, not had them there, but I can tell you one thing: Roscoe's makes a good chicken and waffles. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Do they claim to be the original or just the best?
I don't think they claim to be the original or the best.
So. Okay.
I think it's Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah.
And it's good food.
Yeah.
So I don't think they claim to be either.
I don't personally think that the International House of Pancakes is actually the International House of Pancakes.
You've never had them internationally?
I've seen them internationally. I've never had them internationally.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I have seen them out there. They do exist.
Right.
But are they really even making pancakes?
I think Denny's makes better pancakes. Just me personally.
Oh, maybe. I think Cracker Barrel makes really good flapjacks. They got that little crustiness on them. You know, they're a little.
Yeah, I think that Denny's does a better job overall with all their food than IHOP. I think IHOP though. I think I go to IHOP and I want to try different syrups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Syrup.
Yeah. You want boysenberry, you want blueberry, you want red, you want
I want the different stuff.
Leprechaun.
Butterpecan.
Oh, I thought you said leprechaun. I'm
go.
like, what is leprechaun syrup? Is that a specialty you think they do?
Right.
Green?
It's for St. Patrick's Day. It's green, mint flavored. Yeah. And you get that on the chocolate chip pancakes with the mint flavored syrup. You're good to go.
Love it.
No response from the peanut gallery. But I had an experience one time at Denny's at IHOP where I ordered pancakes and I grabbed the syrup and I forget what flavor it was and I go to pour it out and it's full of pepper.
Oh, no.
Some had put pepper in the syrup.
Oh, that's horrible.
The Denny's staff was kind enough to replace my meal. I was not happy. But anyway, that's the IHOP staff, was replaced the meal.
No, it was the Denny
one of those
staff that
things.
replaced the IHOP meal.
Exactly.
Well, I see that, IHOP's going in all over the place with
TA.
I think that's a tragedy because I actually did like the breakfast at the
Iron Skillet.
And
Or was it Country Pride?
No, it was Iron Skillet had the
Okay.
better breakfast, I thought. And then I also, I'd rather stop at a Flying J and pop into a Denny's
Yeah,
and get that.
Yeah.
I tell you what I don't like
sure.
is the Flying J's that have huddle houses. Those are
Yeah.
always the nastiest restaurants. I've been to a couple. There's a couple around the country that do. There's one that is where a lot of our teams frequent on the FedEx side, and it is not good.
I have never had Huddle House.
So if you go to Huddle
You're
House,
not
make sure
missing
it's not.
nothing.
If you go to Huddle House, make sure it's not connected to a building.
Okay.
If it's just a freestanding Huddle House,
Different
those
story.
are usually pretty good.
Gotcha.
The one that's in, we'll just say connected to a Flying J, no bueno.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Denny's has definitely learned to work the truck stop market a whole lot better than the Huddle House has. But so we were talking about this restaurant and how good the chicken and waffles were that we don't
we
know
didn't
yet.
have.
We want to
Yeah,
go. We want to go
exactly.
try them.
Exactly.
So they also on the backside of the menu they had some house specialties like their roast beef just as a roast beef dinner.
Right.
Their pork roast as a dinner or pork shoulder, right?
I think pork butt.
Pork butt. Okay,
Yep.
that was as a dinner. So they do have some things there that look like could be interesting. So again, wouldn't mind going back, but at least now I have a little better idea of what to expect.
Sure.
So
Yep. And once we go back, and if it's worthy, we'll share the name of the place.
yes,
Not in conversation, we'll actually say this is the name of the place if you haven't picked up on it already.
yes.
Because they are a regional chain, I believe.
I wouldn't even say regional. I think they're pretty. Well, maybe I don't know. I think they had them all the way in Arizona. They just don't have a lot of them.
Right.
Right. Which we've got. Was it like scramblers? We've got that here too. We've got wild eggs. No, we don't have wild eggs here. That's the one I wish we had in Columbus. I think we have scramblers, not wild eggs. Wild eggs is some good stuff.
Interesting.
Wild eggs is what we had in Louisville after the Mid-America Truck Show.
Okay.
If you remember, it was a
I do
really
remember
tall
that place.
room.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was- you entered downstairs and went upstairs, and it was long. and
Yes,
I think we all enjoyed our meals there.
we
too.
did. Wild eggs is really
Yeah.
good. It's chain,
Yeah.
but it's like another broken egg. They've done it very well.
Okay.
Which we have another one of those. We have another broken egg too. So we got some good places to eat breakfast around here. I just never do it. I just never think about breakfast.
Yeah, this restaurant's in 13 different states.
Okay, it's regional.
So I'd say, well, but it's not really. It's
Nationwide.
it's nationwide. They range from South Carolina all the way up to Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's more than a
So
region.
It's
I
more
wouldn't.
than a region.
I wouldn't consider South Carolina and
Yeah.
Wisconsin people really having much of the similar culture, except for
Not really at all.
Yeah.
Except for
America.
they all give you a beer a beer back with a Bloody Mary.
yes. I guess
I don't think South Carolina does that. I'm just trying to
I don't think so either.
drawing for straws.
Well, straws being drawn. It has been a very wet week so far. That was so frustrating too, going out and making those drives, and it's just steady rain. It is not even like storms.
No.
It's just steady, make the windshield hard to see out of
Mm-hmm.
rain.
That's it. The kind we all love. It'll get you wet and make it hard to see and get the roads slick.
Well, don't you feel like we need rain though? It's been a hot minute since we've had some.
Well, we've had these little tiny storms that come through, or they're gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not enough to water the grass even.
Mm-mm.
So you need a little more than that.
I think it'd be nice once it's all said and done, and hopefully the rain will go away a little bit. It is nice. My river's actually getting a little bit bigger.
Actually, apparently it's gotten smaller.
I was kidding.
Oh.
Is it? Well, the river's smaller?
I just got a picture from right before we started recording from Buttermilk that said that the river had actually receded from what it was a couple of days ago when we were here.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe they're storing water in the dam.
They
the
might
reservoir.
be. They might be. Yeah.
Could be.
There's a couple dams north of me, so
Yeah.
It's very possible they're just refilling
Could be.
the tank.
Could be.
Got to do that occasionally.
Yeah.
Got to do that occasionally. As a matter of fact, you got to do it so frequently that at this moment in time, right now, Saturday,
August 26th.
right now, this Saturday, August 26th, where are we?
I am celebrating my dad's 86th birthday in Cape Canaveral, Florida, waiting to board a cruise ship. Not with my dad, waiting to board a cruise ship.
How exciting is
Happy
that?
birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Mr. Vince's dad. You raised a fine young man.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Harold Jr., your other son, is a fine young man. I don't know what happened with me, but Harold, my little brother, is a fine young man.
I could take a guess. Yeah, she's sitting on the couch. No, so we that's right. We're coming to you not live. We are taking a couple days to recharge, taking a short little cruise out to I don't even know where we're going. How pathetic is that?
We are going to the Eastern Caribbean.
The Eastern Caribbean.
Let's
Well, let's
go
go off
away.
memory. I think we're going to Grand Turk, which is fun if you've not been there. It's an island. They have some scuba diving and stuff to do, but the beach right off the cruise ship is free. So we're just going to hang out at the beach, get some nachos, maybe a bucket of suds, and hang out and just work on our tan.
Yes.
And then I think we're going to a new place. Someplace I've never been before. We are going to Puerto Rico.
We are going to Puerto Rico.
I've never been. San
We are.
Juan. I hear it's a beautiful
Yeah.
place. I got
I
friends
hear
of
it's
mine.
Gorgeous place.
I have friends of mine that are crazy about it, and I'm looking forward to being there in just a couple days. And we have where else are we going? We're going to the Dominican Republic.
Yes, we are. A different
That's it.
part of the Dominican
Yes.
than we did the last time, which was a year and a half ago for us.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun too. Looking forward to just a couple days at sea, a little saltwater, salty air therapy,
Yes.
a little sand therapy,
Yep.
little
sun therapy, hopefully.
yeah, was that vitamin D, right?
Vitamin D.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
just recharge the old batteries, get back with it. Melissa, she's back at home, man of the fort. Her and Jerry are doing move-ins this week, and so if you come and move in this week, we apologize for not being there to visit with you, but you're in great hands with
You
Melissa
are in
and
great
Jerry Bear.
hands.
And how are you looking forward to working in the yard this weekend or this week?
Oh, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm thrilled.
Right, get you out of the house for a
Yeah.
little bit. It's got to be nice.
Yeah.
But no, we'll be back in just a few days, and I'm thrilled. We've been going pretty strong for a hot minute, and it'll just be nice to not have to worry about much.
It
Now we
really
do
will.
have. Now some of us still have the internet plan, and we still have phone numbers that work on cruise ships and things like that, just so we can still be in touch. But hopefully, nothing crazy goes.
So the last time Melissa and I were on a cruise,
Yes.
we were still on the truck
that's right.
and we were still mentoring,
Yes.
and we had to have we wanted to be able to support our team still that we were mentoring. So we had the internet package and the cruising phone package to be able to keep in touch with them. This time, I really don't need that because
Yep.
I don't have teams to mentor.
Well, and there's a secret way that Melissa and Jerry and Kelly and Don and Jimmy and Donnie and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
There's a secret way they can all get in touch with us.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
we all kind of know how to do that, but
Yep.
it's only a select few people know how to. So that's fun. So we actually we're not completely unplugged, but we're unplugged enough to be able to relax and kick one back or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it'd be right back to work. So we're going to make the most of this. But you may be thinking, geez, Patrick, that sounds delightful. How do I go on a cruise with y'all?
Well, I'm glad they asked.
I am so glad
So
they
glad they
asked. Aren't
asked.
you, Jerry?
Absolutely.
Because what do you...
Just in a few short months.
let's say weeks, no, days. Just a few days.
Just a few days.
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 Like 100 and something. Not even.
Not even.
Not even. Less than 100. Less than 100 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Hyfield at sea.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's going to be amazing.
Hey now.
So we are going on the largest
I stole
cruise
Vince's
ship
hey now.
in the world. Add a little bass to your voice when you say that, please.
Okay.
Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Sea.
Nice try.
Wonder of the Sea.
I wonder what you got wrong about that.
Wow. As I said it, I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. Please be right. Please be right. Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Sea.
Yes.
We will be departing again in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Like it's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
It's the wonder of the seas.
It is the largest cruise ship in the world.
At the time.
At the time.
Look, at the time of our sailing, it will be. No one needs to know about the one coming up after that.
Yeah.
Because then they'll want to be like, oh, I'm going to wait for that one. No, we want you on the Wonder of the Sea with us, which is the largest.
You wait for the next one.
Yeah,
Icon is going to be, that thing's going to be $10,000 a room.
It is
for
gonna be $10,000 a
inside
room
suites.
for a 4-day cruise.
For 40 cruises. Yes.
Anyway, folk, on December 28th, we're departing Cape Canaveral, Florida. We're just outside of Orlando, right on the coast there.
Disney.
Heading to the Southern Caribbean.
Sure.
On this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be hitting up lots of fun ports on that cruise.
St. Thomas.
It is an 8-day cruise.
St. Martin.
St. Thomas, St. Martin.
St. Croix.
St. Croix.
Is that right?
Sure.
Did I just make that up? Are we going to St. Croix? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't know.
I don't think we're going to St. Croix.
I don't know.
Are we? No. We are going to.
But you know what Jerry's going to do? Jerry is going to use the Star Wars scroll feature of iMovie.
I like it.
He doesn't use iMovie. Does Final Cut Pro have that Star
It
Wars scroll
does.
feature? So over all this talking we're doing,
Yes.
Jerry's going to scroll the locations, the dates that we're going to be on this cruise over the New Year's holiday. Because I know that now that I think about it, that December 28th thing is wrong.
It is wrong. I was going to let you just roll it. It's December
wrong.
30th.
Jerry will throw that up there.
Isn't it December 30th?
Along with
December
the
30th.
ports
December
of call
30th.
on that cruise. It's going to be a great time.
And listen,
It's just truly a great time.
If you're out there and you're going like, we would really like to go, but we want to work and we don't want to spend our time on a cruise ship. We want to make sure that we're out there making money.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, you may be out there, but you will not be making money.
No.
I love our industry. I love both carriers we work with.
Sure.
There is nothing
Shipping during
shipping
that week.
that week.
No.
It is dead or
It's
to doornail. It's just the facts of our business. And every year, Jerry, you heard it just like I did. Vince, you probably heard it.
Yeah.
You hear that one person. I stayed out that one time over Christmas, and I got that $15 million load.
Yep.
And it was just from like Canton, Ohio, to West Virginia.
Yeah.
They paid $15 million for it. And it's like, cool. They do 5 of those loads a year.
If a year.
I'm not a year, but in that time period.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. So if you're not in the right place at the right time, you're not going to catch that load.
Nope.
During that week, during Christmas and New Year's,
Yes.
those loads aren't coming.
No.
And then when people get back after the New Year holiday to work, they're trying to figure out what needs to ship, what needs to go. So you've got some time before that freight.
It's a little
kicks
bit of
up.
gap. It's a little bit of
A
gap.
little bit of gap there.
The very tail end of the trip, because it goes all the way to the 8th, 7th, 8th, something like
Seventh.
that.
Yep.
7th. The very tail end is when the freight's going to start picking up. So generally speaking, let me look at the calendar this year so I can actually pinpoint it. I'm pretty good at this. I've been doing it a hot minute. So, no, that first week, the 1st to the 5th, not much is going to ship. But on the 8th, it's going to be go time.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to start shipping.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you get a chance, come out and see us, hang out with us. You can get your tickets, also known as reservations,
Yes.
from RoyalCaribbean.com,
Yes, you can.
from your favorite travel agent,
Yes.
from your least favorite travel agent. I don't know why you would, but you could.
Yeah.
Costco,
Costco
I
Travel,
think,
yeah.
if you're a
do it there
Costco
as
member, you
well.
can check it out there. They
Yep.
sometimes give some free perks.
Yep.
But it's going to be a great time. Our group is completely sold out, so unfortunately there's no more room there, but you can still come and join us, and it'll be a lot of fun. We don't have any big events happening for us that you would miss out on. It's just going to be everybody hanging out, enjoying the pool, the holiday, the summer, the heat.
So, in other words, you don't have to be a part of the original block of rooms to come hang out with us. Because, again, the block of rooms was just a block of rooms that we booked for Hyfield family to come out. Again, that's all sold out. But there are still rooms available. I'm sorry, not rooms. State rooms. Cabins. State rooms work, too, on a cruise ship. Cabins available on this cruise ship where you can come and hang out with us and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all there. Come join us. But first, we have to talk about some business.
Yes.
We do need to do a follow-up. We talked to y'all not too long ago about the automatic emergency braking system that the CVSA was looking over and thinking about and wanting to mandate.
Yeah.
And it was going to be every vehicle under over 10,000, between 10,000 pounds and 10,001 pounds and 26,000 pounds would have to make this requirement in 4 years. So in 4 years, everything 10,001 to 26,000 pounds would have to have the automatic braking within 4 years, but everything 26,000 and more would be taking effect 3 years after the rule took place. To put it in perspective, what is automatic emergency braking?
And I was going to say we should talk about that. So automatic emergency braking is when the truck senses that you are too close to a vehicle, it will apply brakes for you automatically.
Or if you're coming up on a vehicle that stopped.
Right. If you're coming up on a vehicle that stopped, or a vehicle moves over in front of you.
Yes.
And you have cruise control on. This only works with cruise control. Am I correct? Or
I don't know if this is going to be cruise control only. I do think it actually will do it even if you have your foot like just on the pedal.
The accelerator.
Yeah.
Okay. So the truck will brake automatically when it senses you're coming up on a vehicle. Then you're too close to it to keep that space, that distance. It will help to avoid those rear end collisions because you can't react fast enough to slow down.
Yes, and there's a lot of people that are pro for it. There's a lot of people that are against it. It does save lives. It does make trucking safer, but it's also inconvenient, and it's not a perfect science.
It's not perfect. No,
it's close, but not perfect. You do have times where it'll sense something in front of you, but there won't really be anything. It'll just stop randomly.
Sure.
It won't stop. It'll just apply pressure, and you can usually give it a little accelerator or something to get through it. Or if it even determines it's clear, it'll then let the accelerator go.
Right.
But it's on a lot. About half of our trucks have it. The other half of our trucks don't. And we are moving that direction.
Sure.
We are moving to those, and the technology is getting better, and they're getting way better than what they used to be. And
sure,
still not perfect, but they're getting there.
They're getting better. Yeah.
Now they'll apply a little bit of engine brake if something cuts you off, as opposed to hitting the full brake pedal and such. So, technology is getting better, and I'm generally for it. Although I would like to see that technology get even more developed, which it's doing.
Certainly.
So what they did was the FMCSA and the TSA came together and said, we want to incorporate this. And so they had to go out and say, hey, you have 60 days from the time that we say we're talking about doing this to provide comments and feedback and things you don't like about it, things you do like about it, questions you may have, etc. That way they can hear from the public, because when they do these huge overarching rules, they do want to hear from the public. And in that amount of time, they got 300 what was it? It was over 300 comments. So honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's not more than that.
I am too.
I
am too.
The speed limiter ban thing, thousands of comments. The hours of service rules, thousands. Enough that they went back and they've revised it multiple times because there's been so many people. 300 seems kind of low.
But I think you've had some professional organizations, though, that also have said, hey, wait a minute now, we're not ready for this.
You have. So OIDA is a big one. Obviously, OIDA is the owner-operator, independent...
Operator.
Independent Driver Association. Yes, thank you. That is the biggest organization that does owner-operators. We're a member of OIDA. Great organization. They do a lot of good for trucking. But they have reached out and said, while there are many operational concerns about using an AEB system, truckers are especially worried about the potential for false activations. As you can imagine, drivers are concerned that the 80,000-pound truck they are driving could unexpectedly brake to a complete stop for no reason. In the face of threat, the best agencies offer in the proposal some assurance that an AEB system is capable of differentiating between an actual imminent collision and a non-threat. It's like they're saying, the government's saying we need to be able to assure that it's not going to do this.
Right.
But all the truckers are like, we've had this technology now for better part of a decade. and it still does it,
Still
even on the
having problems.
newest trucks. Now, it doesn't bring you to a dead stop. Did you ever have one of these things bring you to a dead stop?
Only whenever it was intended to, and like in stop and
Correct,
go
yeah.
traffic, but
Sure.
not abruptly. No.
Usually, when it's abrupt, it's very short.
Yes.
It's just a scare. It literally just startles you for a second, then it's good to go again. So I do understand what their concern is, but again, that's are about that later. So they are requesting. How much longer are they requesting, Vince? They want another 30 days. So as of
Which isn't a huge extension request.
it's not. It's really not a lot.
No.
No.
But it gives them time to continue to mobilize their members
Yes.
to comment on these things and let people know or just how many issues there are with it.
Well, and it is interesting too that it's the CVSA that's requesting this in this time.
Sure.
It's not OIDA that's requesting it. It's not anybody else. It's the CVSA is actually setting up, and they're the ones saying, "Hey, we want to make sure this is correct and ready to go." And it's not just the CVSA. It's actually the CVBMC, which is the Commercial Vehicle Brake Manufacturers Council, which I didn't know existed.
I
Just
didn't
throwing
either.
that out there.
Yeah.
They're actually wanting a little more time to talk about this and collaborate with other entities to make sure all issues and concerns are addressed. And I tell you, I wonder if it is part of that is kind of what we just talked about, is they want some assurance that the systems can know better. And I wonder if
Right.
the commercial vehicle brake manufacturers are going like, time out.
Right.
1 second. So, I mean, obviously they're going back and doing more research and getting it together.
Well,
and
there's liability there for them too, right?
yes.
I mean, if these things, we're not talking about an unknown system. We have a known system, like you said, for the last decade or so. If it is required and it causes a problem, there is some liability if the system's not working.
yes.
And that's a big deal. That's a potentially huge payout.
I get it. I don't know that that's. I wonder if that's it or not. I also wonder, okay, if they say this is required, now they got to put this in every truck. Can the supply chain keep up with it?
Well, you got 4 years. We can build a supply
4
chain.
years
in
goes
4
by in a
years. I
heartbeat.
know it goes by in a heartbeat, but you have 4 years to build a supply chain for these things.
Yeah.
So
Well, 3.
I mean,
the big
and
trucks is 3 years.
I read the article. I don't have it up right now, but I read the article. I don't know that their concern is supply chain issues. I think their concern is functionality.
Yeah.
And whether they can make sure they can
Meet the quota.
guarantee that the functionality is there for what people are looking for.
Well, I can see that. They don't want to rush into it. Like the emissions control people, they've had some good emission stuff and they've
Right.
had some not good emission stuff. And
Right.
so
And we're still fighting emissions.
we are.
We're still fighting
And
sensor
part of that's
problems.
because it's constantly growing, constantly
Sure.
evolving, constantly getting better.
Certainly.
If you go back to like 2016, 15, 16, those were pretty darn good. But you fast track a few years, they've gotten more efficient, they've gotten cleaner, but they've gotten more problems.
Right.
Because it's constantly being tweaked.
Constantly being tweaked.
And I could definitely see them going like, we want to make sure we don't have that nightmare. I mean, after all, your brake manufacturers are huge known entities. Caterpillar was a huge known entity,
Right.
and they just flat out said, we're not doing this anymore. We're not making commercial truck engines because the emission system's too much.
Right.
So I don't think anybody wants to see a situation where Bendix or some of these other guys decide, hey, we're not doing this anymore. Because then what do you do?
Maybe Brembo should make brakes for trucks.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be fun.
Just drive by, see the little red,
Big red calipers.
on it. Some exciting news. I did get to see, we've got an order. It's going to be here probably beginning of next year, but the chassis are just now starting to deliver of our next model of M2.
Those look sweet.
It's the M2 Plus by
Yeah.
Freightliner. It's now a couple things they've changed that I'm excited about is it's they got a new transmission,
yeah.
DT12,
Yeah,
same as the
DT12.
Cascadia.
Beautiful.
Something we have a lot of familiarity with. It's in all the Cascadias and Western Stars we have. And then they also have changed to LED headlights,
Yep.
not using the old-fashioned incandescent or halogen bulbs anymore.
That shine 10 feet ahead of you.
Yep. Now we do 15 foot. And then they've completely redesigned the dash.
I thought that looked really cool.
It does. So there's a couple things about it that I'm like, not crazy about. Like, so when you're driving a commercial truck and we've seen this as commercial drivers where the dash in front of you is flat and then there's a little wing section that comes out at an angle, and that's for ergonomics, so it's closer for you to reach over to. That is gone.
Right.
It is a flat dash like you'd have in your pickup truck.
But in the picture that you sent us,
yes,
all of the switches
are very close.
To the driver's side, and you have a huge space of flat space.
Yes,
I like that flat space, especially in trucks that are going to go to Panther, where we're using the Samsara.
Yes,
and you have somewhere to mount them,
or you can put your GPS.
Or you can put your Samsara and your GPS on that
side
space
by side
because you have enough flat surface for those suction cup mounts.
Absolutely, and if anybody's driven an M2, you know the air conditioning vents are not the greatest.
They're not.
They're kind of cheap plastic, and they break all the time. These have new designed Cascadia style air conditioner vents, which are much nicer.
Can we talk about the steering wheel controls?
The steering wheel. That's the other reason why they don't have a winged surface anymore.
Right.
Now you have cruise control, the radio control, the multifunction display in the center console. That's right, multifunction display.
Jeez.
On the truck.
Yeah.
That part's straight out of a Cascadia. They ripped it completely off, which I'm fine with. And all that's on the steering wheel. Your engine brakes now on your column, on your shifter column.
Yeah.
They've come so far.
They have come so far.
It was really slick. Still a few things they won't do, like the seats. They still won't put the little curtain thing around the bottom of the seats.
Right. Yeah.
Which aggravates me. Like, why not?
You know from a cleaning perspective, I'd rather not have it.
I agree.
Right?
I completely understand.
I mean, yes, it hides that stuff.
Aesthetically,
it looks different. I get it. I just think from a cleaning perspective, having that little boot there is just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know?
I agree with you. The center hump is barely there.
Yeah.
It still has the same kind of back hump.
Sure.
But the center hump is very flat.
It's a lower truck.
Yes, it is a lower truck.
That center hump,
it's
a lower truck. It's going to be there, sure.
Yep. And it is easier regress, easier degress. Yeah. It does have a new grill that looks really nice.
It does.
They've changed the little air intake on the side of the hood, too. It looks very, very nice. They've really improved that. Just little things like the DEF tank. If you look at most of our trucks, they've got the fairings over them,
hiding them
because they're ugly. It's ugly black plastic that DEF just eats the paint and makes it look terrible. Yes, now they are the aluminum diamond plate, polished. It looks really sharp. I'm excited.
I am too.
It's a really cool truck. I really was amazed because I was nervous. I mean, when you're changing a truck, I'm like, oh, what are we getting ourselves into this time? What's going to be the new change? What's going to be the new things that we don't like about it? And I gotta say, from what I see so far, they kind of knocked it out of the park. Now, who knows? 6 months from now, I may be saying these darn trucks.
Right.
But right now,
I mean, that's the thing, right? We're excited to get them because we know the knowns of them. We can see the steering wheel controls. The dash is different. The DT12 transmission. The DEF tanks are in a diamond plate and they look a lot better than the old ones. What don't we know yet because we haven't driven one?
Yes.
Right? What don't we know because we haven't actually played with those systems to see how they work?
What have they tweaked? What have they tweaked with the suspension?
Right, exactly.
What's little things there,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see them on the road. I can't wait to actually drive one. They're really nice.
I think we should make a bet on who gets to drive the first one first.
It'll be you.
It's always me.
It's always you now. You take all the fun away from me.
I do take all the fun away from you. So no need for a bet then. I was going to bet on little foosball. Whoever wins the foosball drives the first one first. But no, I'll drive it first. Never mind. I'll take that.
It'll be you.
I'll take that win.
It'll be you. We have a couple orders of business we have to knock out real quick. And the first and foremost is our contractual obligation to the show is to discuss the model airplane of the week.
Yes, we must discuss the model airplane of the week.
So when I picked this model airplane of the week and decided this was going to be the one, I looked over my list because I'm like, we haven't done this one already? Because it certainly looks like one we've done.
It does. It's a Delta.
It's a Delta aircraft plane. We haven't done Delta in like 2 weeks, so I thought it's time.
Yeah.
Sprinkle a little Delta in there. It's like pepper on a pizza. You just sprinkle it on.
I think we've done a lot of Airbus Deltas. This is a Boeing Delta.
So this is a Boeing.
You know how I can tell?
Sure.
I know the engines.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know the engines on this one. Pratt & Whitney's.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, they actually are Pratt & Whitney's.
Yeah.
So this is a, you got the manufacturer wrong, though.
It's not a Boeing?
It's not a Boeing.
Is it an Embraer?
It's not an Embraer.
Is it a Airbus?
Do you just want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
No, not Airbus.
No. Who else makes planes besides Boeing, Embraer, and Airbus?
The question,
McDonnell Douglas?
there you go.
Oh, we're going way back.
Way back.
Oh, I should have known with the engines in the back like that. It's an MD-80, isn't it?
It's an MD-88.
That's what I said.
That's a
MD-88,
mad,
isn't it?
That's a mad dog.
Yeah.
I looked at this and I was like, haven't we done this plane before? So I started looking through the list and I'm like, okay, so we did a DC-9, which is this plane's older brother. DC-9 was made, then they came with the MD-80. Boom, 88's just a variant of the 80.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, so that's similar. Then we did the Delta CRJ-200.
Mm-hmm.
Looks just like this plane. It's a lot smaller, but it looks just like it. 2 engines at the back. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then I kept looking and I'm like, okay, we did the Delta 717. Well, this plane will become a 717 in a few years. Hawaiian 717, same difference. Then we did last couple of weeks ago, we did the Mad Dog 90, MD-90. And this week we're going back just a couple years to the MD-88. Now, the fun fact is that Delta retired both the MD-88 and the MD-90, even though they're two different models at the same time, like back to back. So kind of sad to see that happen. But this airplane, if you were hoping to ride it, you can't anymore.
You can't.
You cannot. So this was a super popular airplane. Everybody and their brother flew it. Northwest had them. Delta had them. American, United, everybody had this airplane. It was a super reliable, super robust airplane. Not very fuel efficient, but back when fuel was dirt cheap, no one cared. Really neat airplane. Had the glass cockpit. It was one of the very first ones that did. Kind of. It wasn't fully glass, but they started it. And I always enjoyed these airplanes. So I actually like these over the 717s. To me, they're quieter.
Okay.
Again, not as fuel efficient, but they're quieter, they're more comfortable. And part of the reasons why they were quieter is because they're a lot longer than a 717. This is an actual stretched variant, so it does have more seats in it. It's longer, and so when you're riding up in the front, you don't hear it. You're much further away from the engines.
Which, when you're in those 3 seats right there with the windows right there by the front of the engine.
Where you actually, so that's are actually seats, and you can actually open up the window, and you're just looking at engine.
And you're hearing it too.
Oh, you need noise canceling.
I believe it.
Headphones.
You just need.
You just need a box
earplugs
to put over your head to just completely isolate you. It's extremely loud. That's the one you go to the bathroom and it's just rumbling as you're using the restroom. It's cool airplane. These are the planes that were called the Mad Dogs. The MD-80 series has kind of got that name. Fun little airplanes that seated a bunch of people and were just bulletproof. I mean, they beat the crap out of these airplanes and super durable, super reliable.
Took a licking and kept on ticking. Huh?
Yep, few hull losses, so they did have some of these airplanes actually go down and crash, and a few of these were even hijacked and stuff. But when you made so many of one type of airplane, it's going to happen.
Sure.
This is the airplane, not with Delta, but with American Airlines, that American Airlines left Eric stranded at the airport for... how many days? Like, not days, like 12, 13 hours, something like that. Very exciting.
not a big fan of American Airlines.
Not a big fan of American Airlines. Now, this one, even up until, so American retired these in 2019, I think. When they retired these were the last airplanes that American owned that were still completely silver. Do you remember the old silver ones with the, this was the last one they had that was still silver. Everything else had already been painted white. So, Delta painted all theirs white because Delta's big on uniformity, making everything look identical.
Of course.
United not so much. Or American not so much. Cool airplane. I'm sure a lot of you got to fly them if you were flying over the past 25 years.
It's funny, for the longest time, I didn't care what plane I was on. It didn't matter. It was an airplane. Do I have a TV in front of me? And do I have power at my seat?
Yeah.
All I cared about. Now it's like, wow, I just curious what plane we're flying.
Man, I never cared about power at the seat. I remember, like, when we used to fly back in 2008, 9, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't care if I had power at the seat. I had no devices.
I didn't then either. But then, you get yourself an iPod.
iPads didn't exist. iPods existed, but iPads didn't.
They didn't.
I had an iPhone back then, but the idea of plugging it into a to an airplane? Like,
right. Well,
what a ridiculous
even
idea.
having Wi-Fi on the plane was a pretty new option at that point.
Well,
And
it was
free,
crazy. Well,
free Wi-Fi.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It had Wi-Fi,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
was unbelievably expensive.
Unbelievable.
$100 a flight kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember we flew Continental, and I thought it was so cool because they had a screen in the seat, and it was widescreen, and on the very far right was a credit card swipe built in.
Yeah.
And you could actually,
a little pay-per-view going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had a few free movies, a few free television shows, and everything else was pay to watch. And I was like, oh, this is so cool.
And those free ones, unless you run a 10-hour flight, you couldn't watch a half-hour TV show because there's so many commercials.
Yes. Yeah. But I just thought it was neat. Even prior to that, everything I'd flown had nothing.
Right.
This was like state of the art. And what's really fun is when we flew down 2017, 18, 19, 2019, we flew down to Mexico City and we flew on United. And I actually flew in one of those airplanes that had that exact same screen. It was an old Continental airplane.
Yeah.
They had never replaced the screen, so it was still that same old one with the credit card swipe. But I was like, holy cow, I remember this really well. But so this line of airplanes, MD-80, MD-90, DC-9, Boeing 717, none of them have televisions. They never did it. They were actually going to. I have an article from 2018 where they said, Delta's going to install televisions and infotainment systems in all of their MD-88s, 90s, and Boeing 717s, and COVID killed it. When COVID came along and passenger volume dropped so much, Delta took the opportunity to get rid of these old airplanes, and they never invested money and put the TVs in the seats. They still have the 717s, but they're like, we're getting rid of them over the next couple of years. We're not gonna put any money in them.
Yeah.
So, good airplane, quiet up front, very loud in the back, and durable. So I'm sure you flew on one at some point. That is the airplane of the week, and that just about wraps up the show. Jerry, what are we missing?
If you would like to do what we do over here at Hyfield Trucking and join the hashtag Hyfield family, check us out at www.hyfieldtrucking.com. One of our agents would love to chat with you. You can reach us over there Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have a comment, suggestion, anything about the show here, make a comment, anything, send us over an email at theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com. You can also leave a comment down below. We do monitor all those comments. Check us out on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are out there on all of those. And also check this out on your favorite podcast streaming app. We're available on every one of those that you can find us out there on.
Are we tickety talking now?
Yep, I upload TikTok. So
you the man, Jerry.
Wow,
you the man.
I'm not hipping with all the kids stuff.
I'm not either.
I don't know.
I
don't know the TikTok.
The tickety talking. I'm not
out there doing the whole.
You're not doing the dance.
You got to start.
I'm not doing the dances and all that.
What's that dance called?
I want to see
Melissa likes so much the flosses.
You got to do the thing where you're like, Hyfield, founded
right
2012.
I haven't done anything like that, but I am putting videos out there, like the commercials that I've made and cool. Different things. So
I do a mean floss, Jerry. So if you want me to get on there and do it,
I'll put you out there.
I don't really, truly, I don't. Yeah. I just thought I'd throw it out there just in case you might be like, no, thanks, Vince. We don't need you to floss.
My dentist said I need to floss more, and I'm like, you say I'm getting fat? What she's talking about. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for pressing any button that's on that screen in front of you. Please share us.
The interaction helps.
The interaction helps, even if it's bad. Share us with your friends, family, coworkers. We appreciate everything that y'all do. Stay safe, everybody. Make good decisions.
Don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a-turning.
Good night.